feeling today? It's a lovely day today. Show you there. Ocean. I mean, it was actually raining. It was raining a little bit today, so I don't think there will be a sunset because it's a little bit overcast. But nonetheless, the weather inside is beautiful, blissful, amazing. And I also hope the weather inside of you is also beautiful, blissful, and peaceful, right? If it's not, just make a choice right now and step into that peace and that bliss because you deserve it. Now, I just want to talk about, the simulation again. And as per the last video, so what is the simulation? Well, I mean, it's actually interesting that quite a few modern scientists that actually believe that this reality is a computer-generated reality. In other words, it's a hologram. It is not real as it seems. And Neville Goddard called it an echo, a shadow, called this reality dead because it's a projection of our mind, our imagination. So the simulation is basically just a projection of our imagination or our mind or our brain, right? So now check this out. Your reality is happening inside of your brain. Nothing is actually happening outside of you. Your reality is happening inside of your brain. So what you are seeing right now, what you are actually looking at right now is literally empty space. But it's not empty per se. It's an information field called the simulation. Now what happens is our five senses is an interface or like this hardware that actually plug us into the simulation, the matrix. So our body, especially the brain, is an interface that connects us to the simulation. Now, the outside reality doesn't really exist. It's an information field. Like, I love what David Icke says. He breaks it down so clear and eloquent. So David Icke shared that there's so many similarities with AI and technology when it comes to what is really happening, what is really going on right now. Think about the Wi-Fi, your internet inside your home. You can't see the internet, right? You can't see the Wi-Fi. You can't see it. The only way for you to experience or use the Wi-Fi is if you log in or connect into it with your device. So you need a phone or you need a PC in order for you to connect to the Wi-Fi. But now what is the Wi-Fi? What is Wi-Fi? It's video, it's YouTube, it's social media, it's pictures, it's music. So that's the Wi-Fi. So the moment we connect to the Wi-Fi then provides us with a whole lot of different videos, music, pictures, and images, right? But the Wi-Fi, you can't see the Wi-Fi. You can't see the Wi-Fi. You can only experience the Wi-Fi by connecting to it, logging into it. Now, similarly with the simulation. So the simulation, what you're seeing right now, is It's just like the Wi-Fi. So I just want you to quickly follow, maybe just take a deep breath in and just follow me. Just follow me, right? So what you are seeing right now in your external reality is just like the Wi-Fi. It's like the Wi-Fi. Now, the only reason why you can see me or your house or your car is because you are already plugged into the simulation. You were born into the simulation. So that's why you're actually able to see me. But now check this out. You are actually not seeing anything outside of yourself, because everything is happening in your brain. Because you're outside the external reality, your 3D is only ones and zeros, and it's an information field. We call them the simulation. So what happens is, the moment you look, at something, it sends a signal to your brain, and your brain creates a holographic image of what you're actually perceiving at that moment. And then, boom, you see me. But you're actually seeing it in your mind. You're not seeing it outside of yourself. Everything is happening in your brain. So the brain is actually the interface that is connecting us to the simulation. That's why it's so challenging to actually exit the simulation, because you were born into the simulation. Now, I also just want to mention this as well. So let me give you another analogy. Have you ever had a VR headset on? You had the VR headset, and everything that you actually see in that headset is so real. You're actually doing this. You're literally doing this. You like using your hands and your fingers to control whatever you're seeing, but there's nothing there. But yet, it seems as though there's something there because of the VR headset that you have on. So what is happening there is that headset basically hacked your 5 senses, and now it seems as though you are experiencing a 3D reality outside of yourself, but it's not. What's happening is that your 5 senses are sending signals to your brain. Your brain then decodes that information into holographic, images, depending on what you are looking at. Now, why is this so important? Why is it so important? If we now bring it to our lives, and if we say, you know what, I actually want to take my power back. I do not want to live my life according to the default program. You see, in the simulation, there's a default program, and it's survival, fear, shame, guilt, and all the lower frequencies. That's the actual operating system, if you will, of the simulation. So when you look at, the world, it seems like 90% of people are struggling and they in survival, and it seems like it's freaking hell, right? When you should just look at the world, is because of the default software that's within the simulation. Now, why do they call this reality a simulation? Is because it's a copy of the original. Now, before the simulation was introduced on this, I won't say introduced, so let's just call these entities non-human entities, right? So they actually hijacked this planet before it was governed by the simulation. So now, when you think Bible, Adam and Eve, like Eden, heaven on earth. That's how it used to be. That's how the planet used to be before the simulation was actually introduced. So the planet was designed for us to grow, expand, to be free, to be abundant and joyful before the simulation. So when you actually came to this planet, you would have a freaking amazing time. You would not feel separate from other people. You also would not have lower vibrational emotions and feelings that is driving you crazy, like survival, like stress, like fear, like guilt and shame. But then these entities came to this planet and they hijacked it, and now we having this situation. We are now in a simulation, and now if you want to try and escape the simulation, it is very, very, very challenging, because when you do leave your body, i.e. when you die, they call it heaven or whatever, when you like just see rainbows, where you see beautiful, the light and this and that and that. So that's also part of the simulation as well. So it's also part of the matrix. So when you leave your body and it looks like heaven, maybe your family member comes to you, or if you're religious, your religious leader will come and welcome you and all that stuff. But then what they do is they trap you, and they tell you that no, you have to learn more lessons, you have to grow, and they tell you that, and they what they do is they try you, they convince you to consent to fear, guilt, shame, and then the moment you consent to that, boom, they obviously they do their thing, they wipe your memory, right? They wipe your memory, and then they say, well, you're gonna go back and you're gonna be a good man, you're probably gonna be much better, and you probably come back as a woman or as a man, depending on who you are. And then you basically reincarnate, and the next thing you know, it's this constant a cycle of you just reincarnating, coming, and but you can't escape, because whenever you leave the body, i.e. die, boom, these psychopaths get you and they trick you to come back, right? But now the fact that I'm talking about it, and a lot of people are talking about it, means that we can escape. So we can escape. So in other words, when you leave your body, there is a way for you to escape, right? So we're going to talk about that. So that's good news. And check this out. We have the power to actually collapse this simulation. So if a lot of people will step into their power and say, hey, this is a simulation, and I want you to repeat after me now. Just repeat after me and say that this reality that I'm seeing is a simulation. It is not real. This reality that I'm actually perceiving right now is a simulation. It's not real. And my body is also part of the simulation. It's not real. The only thing that is real is my awareness, the part that is actually observing my body. So I want you to observe your body. Just watch your body. Now I want you to listen to your thoughts now. I want you just to listen to you, because you are thinking right now, right? I want you to observe their thoughts and listen to it. Now you see that the you that actually listen to their thoughts and watch it, that is your awareness. Now that's the only thing that is real. It's the only thing that's real, right? So now you need to know that this reality is not real. So you have to say that this reality is a simulation. It's not real. My body is also not real. The only thing is real is my awareness, which is my consciousness, right? That is actually watching what is happening. So you actually now waking up. We all of us are now waking up. We're waking up to the dream. Have you ever had a lucid dream where you were conscious that you were dreaming, and then afterwards you just observed the dream? Have you ever had that dream? I had quite a few of those dreams. I'm like dreaming, right? I'm in the dream state, and then I gain consciousness. I'm become conscious that I'm actually dreaming. So I don't wake up, I don't like kind of like my eyes don't open, but I'm just like kind of conscious that I'm actually, oh, I'm dreaming. And then I'm actually observing the dream. But then I get to control the dream. So then I say that, you know what, I want to fly. Boom, now I fly. I want to do this, I want to do that. Because I am now controlling the dream whilst I'm dreaming. Now check this out. When you are waking up to the simulation, when you are waking up to the simulation, you can now also see your body as part of the simulation, but you are now longer, just gotta call them. You are now no longer getting carried away by this reality. You now actually know that, oh, this is a simulation. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to ensure that I am going to make the most of this simulation, and I'm going to experience heaven on earth because I now know how to actually control, the simulation, right? But it's very important for you to understand that it's not real, because if you actually buy into it, that it's real, then boom, you are actually caught up again. So what I do, I constantly remind myself that this reality is not real, it's a simulation. The only thing is real is my awareness. And your awareness is infinite and it's limitless. That is actually what's going to help you to escape when you leave your body, i.e. when you die. Okay, cool. So now we talked about that. Now I want to share with you guys how to experience heaven on earth, to literally make the most of it. Because now you telling me now, you say, oh yeah, Gabriel, wow, okay, yeah, it's a simulation, it's not real, so what's the use? No, it's like when you play a game, right? You know that the game is not real, but yet, you are having fun playing the game. You are giving your all playing the game. You are giving 100%. You are going all in. You're going ham. You're like, no, I am definitely going to get to the next stage. I'm going to get to the next stage. I'm going to get to the next stage. And you don't give up. But you know it's a game, but you don't give up. Now check this out. We know that this is a simulation. It's not real. But I don't want you to give up and say, oh no, it's not real, so I'm just going to forget about it. No, we're going to make you're going to make the best out of this simulation. And remember, you are the creator of your reality, so you can create heaven on earth. So you can literally bypass the default program of the simulation, which is fear, survival, guilt, shame. So you say, you know what, I no longer consent to these lower vibrational frequencies. I do not consent to any of that. So you have to talk to the simulation and say, hey, I do not consent to this. I do not consent to fear. I do not consent to survival. I do not consent to shame. I do not consent to guilt, because it's not real. It's all an illusion, and it's happening in your brain, in your mind. Nothing is happening outside of you. Everything is happening in your mind. Everything is happening in your mind. The outside world is just an information field that actually gets decoded in your brain, and your brain then projects a holographic, image that makes it seem real. But it's not real, just like a dream. You know that the dream is not real, but yet you have a full-on experience. You taste, touch, hear, and then you wake up, it was just a dream. This is exactly like it. It's an induced dream. No difference. So now check this out. So now, you are now going to take your power back. You're going to say, okay, you now ask yourself, okay, what do I want? What do I want to actually create? What do I want to experience in the simulation? What do I want to experience? Okay, I want to experience a blissful life. I want to experience an abundant life. I want to experience a life filled with freedom, right? So the moment you now clear, you now remember nothing happens outside of you. Remember, that's very, very, very important to understand. Nothing happens outside of you. Scientists has confirmed that nothing happens outside of you. The outside world is just an information field. that gets decoded in your brain and it projects, you know, an image, and it makes it seem like there's something happening outside, but it's not. Now, the moment you clear, you say, okay, this is what I want. I want to experience this. And then you now use the law of assumption. Now, the law of assumption is very, very powerful. It simply states that all you do is just assume that you already have your desire now. So you just have to assume that you already have. So like I said, so if your a goal to create in the simulation is a loving relationship and an abundant life, so all you need to do is just assume that you are now a person who is loving and that you are a person that is abundant. So now check this out. The moment you assume that, okay, this, and you see it in your brain, in your mind, in your imagination. So the moment you assume that you're this, all you do is just remain faithful to that in your brain. Don't worry about what's happening outside of yourself. Remember, nothing is happening outside of yourself. All you need to do is just make sure you stay committed to that new assumption. Just stay committed to that new assumption in your brain. And what happens then is your brain will then project that new assumption also in your brain, also in your mind, and then you now will get to experience an abundant life and also a blissful life as well. But then at the same time, when you do leave the body, when you die, and you, let's just say you meet up with those psychopaths up there, you know, in heaven, and they try to trick you, you then now know that, hey, okay, I know that this is all just, you know, trick. Even though if it's a family member that says, oh no, hi Gabriel, oh we were waiting for you, oh, you know, come now, you have to come and speak to the council of elders. Then they sit you around a table, you have to speak to the council of elders, and they say, oh Gabriel, you told a lie, and remember you stole when you were 5, and remember you were quite a naughty boy, Gabriel. So what are you gonna do about it? I think you have to go and pay your karma. You have to learn lessons. I think you have to go back. And the moment I agree to it, boom, they send me back there, and now I'm in that reincarnation cycle, and it's all a trap. So when it comes to the 3D is a simulation, the 4D is a simulation, 5D is a simulation, 6D is a simulation, 7D is a simulation, 8D is a simulation. All these Ds are all simulations. The only thing that is real is source awareness. So you have to make sure you get out of those construct, because this is all a construct. Now there's levels to this construct. There's like we are in this 3rd dimension level. Then we have the 4th dimension level, the astral level. Then we have the 5th dimension, the heavenly level. And then we get 6. So there's level, but it's all one simulation. It's all one simulation. You have to, boom, go out. So that's why I like Joe Dispenza. Joe Dispenza, with his meditations, you get to, you like, boom, you like experience the cosmos. You're not even like in those astral realms. You like, boom, you in the cosmos, you in source, you like one with the unified field. You just see black. You just experience black. You're like, whoo, yeah. This feels like home. Now let's recap quickly. We know that this reality is not real. It's a simulation, but it's very important that you have to tell yourself that. You can't just agree with me. You have to tell yourself that out loud. This reality is a simulation. It's not real. My body is also a simulation. It's not real. The only thing is real is my awareness. The thing that is actually becoming aware, that is just watching my body now, that's the only thing that is real. And then you say, I do not consent to the simulation. I do not consent to the simulation. The beautiful thing is, if a lot of us can do this, the simulation is going to freaking collapse. And then it will switch to the original reality before the simulation. We just have to constantly live in our hearts. Now, the heart is not act like the brain. The brain is actually connected to the simulation, but the heart is the seat of the soul. The heart is actually the gateway to your awareness, your true self. So that's why you want to chill in your heart. Chill in your heart, man. Don't chill here. Don't think. Just be here. Because the moment you drop in your heart, you now feel calm, you feel peace, you feel free. So you want to chill in your heart. Okay.